Verity, 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 verity. Falsity, falsity, falsity. Falsity, falsity, falsity. Welcome to the re-simulation of the 2026 Formula 1 70 Heineken Grande Prêmio de Sao Paulo. It's the resim, it's the remix. So I'm not gonna go into anything because you guys already heard me yap the first time round. So I'm just gonna go play the intro, then we get right to it. It's Verity. I'm Verity, guys. I'm Verity.
Wheel steering has broken down.
Hey, it's me. It's Verity. Verity, falsity, lovity, whatever it is. Okay, I will go through the el starting grid again for those who did not see it, and then we go. I just came back from eating, by the way. If anyone can, why can I? What the heck's going on with my monoposto? Hold on. Don't tell me. No, 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 no. My monoposto just switched off. What the heck? Like I'm trying to press and nothing's working. Hell no. Okay, give me a sec. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to restart everything and quali too. Man, frick you. Guys, after this, guys, we should all play eFootball, guys. eFootball 70? Oh my gosh, guys. No, I'm joking. I would never do that. There's no way I could get an eFootball league up in here. Hell no. Because I would win, obviously. Falsity, falsity. Okay, I should stop doing that. So, here we are. Brasil, Brasil. Este eu aqui do Brasil, ó, o João Paulo. Sadat, what the frick, man? Frick you. Brother, what is this? No, brother, what is this? The old starting order, the old starting order was Ocon, Joe, Sadaf, and then someone, and then Joel. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Brother, what is this? Brother, what is this? Delete. Delete this comment. Yes, you were P2, sir. Can I generally just get aircon on poll, guys? Because it was aircon, Joe, Sadaf, Joel, and then some other random people. Hey, it's moi. It's very. Why am I so bummed? Someone's been tampering with my AI. Why am I so bummed? Why is the AI putting? Nah, 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 nah. There's got to be some rigging or something. 10, 10, then 9, 10. That should fix it. Oh, let's go gambling. Oh, dang it. Oh, dang it. This is not correct. This is not correct. So we're gonna keep doing this until we get the correct top three. By the way, what the heck happened there? The heck happened there? So guys, did you know that it's gonna be 35 laps? Did you know it's gonna be 35 laps? And 35 laps is a long time. I think the Monaco GP was like 37 laps below. Well, close, but no. Yeah. What's the capital of France? It's Paris. It's so quiet here. Like I'm genuinely like, cause like we had a such we're on for such a good race, but then someone decided to retire. That brought out a safety car. Then when the safety cars were supposed to unlap themselves, finally here we go. Then absolute carnage happened. So here we go. My cry. It's a wet race. It's a wet race, everyone. It's a wet race, everyone. So here we are, waiting for 5 lights here in the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace. And it's lights out and away we go. Joe gets along a very, very good start. We'll see if he's still ahead by the first 10. And he already takes the lead of the race before we even get to the first 10. I think Aircon's just going to try to fight that one back. Yes, he does. He goes back into the lead of the race. The two Mercedes now under threat from both the Racing Point and the Red Bull. But Joe has to fight his way through. And both cars fall susceptible. And Aircon comes back, storms into the lead. Actually, Aircon absolutely storms into the lead. Will we see the sort of magic that happened last time out in Brazil when the safety car, when the rain stopped and Mercedes were 1-2? A doubt, but we will see. The two cars just about keeping tabs with one another. Yeah, I think Sadaf is well vulnerable to a tap from Jupiter as we go on to turn 15 and start finish straight. Will Joe be close enough to psych a move on the inside line? No, he's still too far. He's too far back to try it. Will he try to go? Actually, Sadaf now into P3 as well, but he just loses it at the very, very last second. Joe is gaining ever so much. He will try to go for the lead, but then they collide. They bang wheels. Joe just loses a bit. Yeah, they both lost their strength by 2%. So both their cars are operating on 90% full power. So yeah, actually Tap now is now gaining close and might actually be able to threaten this party here. Joe wanted to go for a move, is too far back, or Aircon parks it on the racing line. Joe has to take a lot of defensive action, while Aircon is in P2. So what will Aircon do now? Joe just sets the fastest lap, faster than what Aircon could achieve, already building out his gap here. So before there was a Mercedes on top, now it is Red Bull on top here. Yeah, Joe definitely has some immense pace. Yeah, so does Tap as well. Tap on P3, seems. So what can Aircon do coming into the infield? Now onto Ferradura, the Curvo dell'Arrange. Into turn 8, then turn 9, Pinheirino. Then the Bico de Page. Right here at the cusp of turn 10 into 11, Mergulho. And then to turn 12, Junção, the junction. Tap from Jupiter, fastest sector 2. Yeah. Onto the straight now. Joe seems to be just a tiny speck right now, disappearing into the distance. There is Tap. Tap is right there. Tap is absolutely starting to threaten now for the win as Joe in the lead of the race. You know, he had a great move coming out into turn one, and I think he'll be on for a great finish. So that's inching ever so closer to Aircon here. So Aircon really stuck between a rock and a hard place. Obviously, he will get the 1 point for being on pole, but yeah, my bad. Yeah. So here we go. As it stands right now, Aircon gained some time out of Joe. Just you could just see like Joe is within sight as it stands right now. So there's not much else going on right now. I think the grid has started to spread out a bit, but Aircon actually gained huge amount of time on the straight. He's just too far back though into turn one to go for a move. If there was DRS, he would have it as of right now, but he's just too far back. He has to conserve his battery right now. Joe actually has less battery than Aircon. He has about 20 points, 20, yeah, levels or 20% less battery than Aircon right now. So Aircon could deploy the 20 units of battery, catch up to Joe, and they'd still be on the same level right now. Yeah. So it's a very strategic deployment, but Aircon just really keeping tabs with Joe, not allowing him to run away all that much. We see how Mercedes is so fast. Sadaf actually fastest sector 2 as I say that. So now Mercedes on the back foot. Can they go back and keep their double podium? Or will they fall into the hands of the Red Bull? Will they fall into the Bull's quarters and find out what happens? Racing Point as well. Tap, rather. Really, really strong as it right now. And Aircon just barely, just like barely escaped the clutches of Tap. Actually, backwards, if you look at his rear wing there's Aircon there in the Mercedes, looking threatening, hungry ever so. Yeah. But just when it matters, unable to deploy enough battery, unable to deploy enough points of downforce. Joe, fastest in sector 2, gone. Absolutely gone onto turn 15, onto the main straight now. Just gone from view. Absolutely disappeared from Aircon's view, but there still is a charging Mercedes there. There still is a lot of time in the race as we go on to lap 7 of 35 already. As the rain continues to pour on, it continues to, keep on coming. It just keeps on coming and it doesn't stop coming. Yeah. So all that progress that Aircon tried to do was absolutely obliterated with Joe's time in Sector 2. But the degradation on the Red Bull is seemingly higher than that on the Mercedes. So we might see when it comes time to pull out the strategy boards and see what has to go on. I don't know what we might see coming out of here. Tap actually gaining a lot of time on Aircon here. Just following them through turn 14 and 15 onto the main straight, starting lap 8. And the first lap car, actually Edward pitted for another set of wet tires. Sorry. Meaning that now, more than ever, lapped traffic will now come into play. And we know what happens with the Williams cars when it comes to being lapped. Now beginning the infield section to turn 5, 6, or 4, 5 into turn 5, going into turn 6, and the really tight infield section. Tap still keeping tabs with the one in front of him. Aircon as well, seemingly keeping tabs with Joe out in front. Let's see what Joe does to the first Williams up ahead. Actually, up on his time, Joe might actually set another fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So he's gapped everyone. He's basically gapped everyone. He just loses it out in the final sector. Aircon's just gained massively as well in that final sector. So right now it's Joe's race to lose. Really is Joe's race to lose. When the back markers come, they are going to come hard and fast. Definitely. Yeah. And you can just see the Williams up ahead. You can see the Williams up ahead. And it doesn't look like a friendly Williams. Seemingly so. Aircon right there, right behind him. Like you can, he's getting, it seems as though as every lap comes and goes, he gets bigger. The picture just gets bigger. So Joe is actually quite fast in the last sector. Yeah, he is quite fast in, the middle sector, in the infield section. But just as he comes onto the straight, all that time is just lost. It was green by like 1 second on the main straight. Now it's just gone. Tapper and Jupiter fastest in sector 3 as well. So Aircon now stuck between a rock and a hard place. Joe will extend his championship advantage to 8 points going into Bahrain. But as I say that, Aircon fastest in sector 1. Oh, he's so close now. Joe blocks the racing line. Aircon says, no, I'll just take the inside line, and that's Aircon into P1. Into the lead of the race. Now Joe is the one. Now Joe is the one on the back foot. Now Joe is the one who has to push his way and push past the Mercedes and make a move here. It's too far back, but we all know in that middle sector how fast he is. But we are going on to the last sector. But Joe will just pull aside, and that's into P1. At the turn of the lap. So now you can definitely see that it is certainly a fight to be had right now, as Joe right now has to deal with the lapped traffic here on the main straight. Being slowed obviously means that he will have Aircon right behind him, it seems, but he goes round the outside of the Williams of Eric, and again we'll have another Williams. Aircon as well seems to be behind the Williams, it seems. Joe actually still needs to get past the second Williams, which he does. He's okay with doing that. That was a very, very risky move that the Williams had actually made to get lapped. But here we go. With these two here. Does Aircon have enough battery to deploy? Is he too far back? He's too far back. On lap 12 of a 35, Aircon still too far back. But actually Tap now beginning to threaten. Tap is not in contention now. You just have the lap. Is that the second? That is the second lap Williams car. Maybe he can pose a threat. Maybe he won't. We'll just have to see what happens. Yeah, Tap immense speed right now into the braking zone. Does it like it doesn't even matter. Fonraroli, fastest lap as well. In the midfield here. He's right there, Fonraroli, looking to make a move on Dirksen here for P8. Still far behind. Still far behind. I think he was just about to make it there. He was just about to make it. I'm also watching the gap at the front, so sorry. Has the better traction, has the inside line, but Dirksen will come back. Fonra can't go for the switchback, as our front three just crossed to make it lap 13 rather, of 35. So yeah, Aircon's still hovering around that 1 second gap, but And the track is now beginning to clear. I believe the rain has stopped. So now that the track's begun to clear, we will see in the pit stops what will happen here. Actually, Sadaf gained an immense amount of time through here. He will go round the outside, does the switchback on tap from Jupiter, and is up into P3 for Mercedes. It's a double podium day for them. But Tap will come back. They're both in the Mercedes power unit, so it's all up to their aerodynamics to battle it out to see a world champion versus a rookie. Sadaf collides with Tap from Jupiter, and that's a 5-second penalty. I believe that's a fair penalty. I really do believe that he took a chunk out of his car. And then here we go. Who stays out? They all stay out. They all stay out. The track is still wet, even though it has stopped raining. The track still seems pretty wet. So this is Aircon's last chance, it seems, last lap to gain track position. Yeah. Okay, let me finish this bit. It seems as though, yeah, everyone is now pitted. Everyone in the midfield is now cluttered. Seems as though everyone's pitted now. Everyone behind the top 5, all the top 5 just haven't pitted. Yeah. So this was Aircon's last chance. Very, very last chance. Very, very slim chance of actually making the overtake for track position here. Because behind him as well, there is a lot of traffic in the pits, but the traffic is moving and the traffic is going away fast. So Aircon will not have the traction here to be able to go for it. So yeah, there we go. I think Tap actually might block in there. Tap's ahead. There we go. There's Eric H2X. Yep, Tap into the lead, just barely there. Comes out. Behind the Williams. And there we go, both onto the hard tire. And that's Aircon still in P2. Obviously, Sadaf pits with a 5-second penalty. Will come out behind Tanner Bardot. Will come up, but no, he won't come up behind Eric Luther, so that's fine. Well, comes up behind Tanner Bardot. And that's it. And that's Joe riding off into the sunset. So yeah, Aircon had his chance. He had the time. He couldn't make up the advantage of pace today, as we saw recently. He just could not make. He's been off the pace so far. Yeah, I like turtles. I like trains. I do know. Anyway, in terms of the grid, actually, there's still a lot to be decided as it stands in the teams that actually haven't confirmed their lineup. Haas, Williams, the new Cadillac team. Something's going on in Red Bull Racing and Mercedes, actually. But the teams that are very close to confirming or have confirmed, essentially it's McLaren, McLaren and Visa Cash App, Racing Bulls. You know, Albano is going to be leaving the team, and so will Rafa Caetano as well be leaving the Italian team. So they're leaving the Red Bull family as a whole, actually. So we'll see where they go. Joe sets is the fastest in Sector 1. What can Aircon do about it? Aircon, not much, it seems. Joe set fastest Sector 1. Up ahead, he has the McLaren of VQ and LM. Senna says the fastest in Sector 2 as well. The Haas clearly on for some speed today. What can Joe do in Sector 2? This is his strongest sector thus far. He just cannot go faster than that in Sector 2, but he might be on for the fastest lap. Tanner Bardot actually gets up into P3. I did not see that. Gets up into P3. What's going on with Tap? I saw he was struggling there. I think he has a puncture somewhere. Yep, his tires have a puncture. Aircon says the fastest lap as well. So Tap with a puncture, but Tanner Bardot just takes the fastest lap away from Aircon. And so does Sadaf. So Tap will peel into the pits. It's because he has a puncture. This is the kind of stuff that we saw from Aircon actually in Mexico where he had a puncture. I think there was for a collision with Tanner Bardot. Yeah, so South Africa go fastest in Sector 1. Again, Joe is down on his time while he's in Sector 2. Aircon still gaining massive amounts of downforce through these corners. And that's Fornaroli from the fringes of the points into P6. Yeah, so that's 10 of Adol actually into P3. So the top 3 in the championship are top 3 in the race. We don't see that much around here. So that's Joe, and in front of him is the McLaren of VQNLM, just immediately in front of him. And if he can just not crash, and if he can just get past him efficiently, then that'll be good. That would be good for him. Time from Jupiter on the reconnaissance mission, fastest in sector 2. That was no sector 1. That was no sector 2. That was sector 2. Apologies. Yeah, but as of right now, VQNLM is actually giving Joe the DRS, and with DRS he can go even faster. Hold on. Okay, we back. I was saying something. Oh yeah. I was saying that yeah, Joe gets DRS from VQNLM. Or does he? Or does he not? I don't know. But in either case, both cars don't have DRS. So like, what's even the point? So even if he if he does have DRS to VQNLM, that actually helps him a lot because Aircon just isn't gaining time. No, he isn't. So the pit stop phase helped Joe by quite a bit because they were just hovering around that 1 second range, and actually that's allowed Tanner Bardot to now come into the equation. Where has the pace been for Mercedes in these last few Grand Prix? Where has the pace been? Because it seems as though they've just been unable to extract anything. If you remember, Aircon's last win was Mercedes' last win actually was in Azerbaijan, and that happened to be a race with a lot of safety cars and such. So the last time they actually got an outright win was in Zandvoort, which was round 15. We're now on round 21. It's been about 5 or 6 races without a Mercedes win. So really, in the end part of the season, there's on a 5-second for Africa, kind of for a collision with Franco Colino. But yeah, the pace today in Mercedes has just gone away since, yeah, there's Joe on VQNLM. But I think, yeah, VQNLM's just right behind him. So now that Joe's dropped VQNLM, he can now become an asset to Aircon because, you know, Aircon actually might use the DRS that he's been given by VQNLM. Can you actually see them? He can. They're just out, just barely out of view. Aircon gaining massive amounts of time from the slipstream, seems. But will it be enough? I doubt it's going to be enough to displace Joe there. I should just go on board with VQNLM himself. Yep, he's been overtaken. And then I think that's helped Aircon massively. Like in terms of yeah, that's helped Aircon massively gain a lot of time on Joe, but not by much. It's only like 8/10 worth of time. But still. Any time gain is valuable time gained, it seems. Where is Joe? Joe's next target is now Tipcom in the Alfa Romeo. As actually Eric Littlethings comes into the pits, Hannah Bardot stays out. There's aircon just right behind there. So really, all aircon can do is be a sitting duck and wait for Joe right now. All he can do is just be a sitting duck, waiting for a mistake or something to happen to Joe. Because really, on the straight, which there are two, can't do anything about it. Actually, Joe's now got DRS from Tipcom. Or does he? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't have it. You get DRS from lap traffic. Yeah, so all that was for nothing. All that time gain and stuff was for nothing. Because now, Aircon is still 3 seconds behind as Joe clears Tipcom. Yeah, that's done nothing for Aircon right now. Obviously, Mercedes will gain huge points in the constructors, but just does nothing. So yeah, actually, Joe's now fast. Joe's now faster than he was before. He's on track right now to overtake Levi Graham and Fonderoli. Meanwhile, Aircon, struggling with his tires, struggling to find pace, still has a lot of degradation to deal with right now. Harper-Lutta as well, at pits, at 4 new tires. That's Aircon past Tipcom. So the second place finisher here is seemingly he's bottled it. He's bottled pole, guys. He's bottled pole. This is my Pido right here. Can't even win a freaking world championship to save his life. Yeah, Tipcom pits. Aircon doesn't seem as though he'll get the race win today. For him to get the race win, he needs a huge mistake from Joe to happen, or he needs to increase his pace tenfold. But it seems though on the harder tire, you just can't perform. You can just see there Joe's just up the road. It's just a tiny speck there. Yeah, so our pole sitter now be 8 points behind. Is it 8? No, it's 10. 10? Yeah, 10. It's 10 points, but no. It's 9 or 10 points behind Mr. Joe here. Unless, but I doubt anything major's going to happen to Joe here. Really, I do doubt. He's approaching turn 1. He's just gone into the braking zone now. Still a lot of time behind. Aircon has to make, if he even wants this win. It seems as though he's just not pushing the car enough to show that he wants to win today. So yeah, what he needs rather, the safety car, virtual safety car, any form of slowing down the cars would be beneficial to Aircon, but I doubt that's going to happen with the race so pure like this, with barely anything going on. 10-second time penalty. Yeah, and that's actually Sadaf now. Sadaf is now coming into contention. He's now 9 seconds behind, so which means he's only 6 seconds behind the Aircon here. Yeah. And that's the Ferrari of Harper-Lutta, I believe, trying to unlap himself. That means that, yeah, no, Aircon's just lost out his pace here. I don't know, I think maybe the only way that he can come back is if they were on different strategies or something. I think that's really the only way he can come back, because cars are quickly getting past Aircon here. So it seems as though on the hard tire, he's really struggling for pace. He's not really keeping that sort of distance to Joe. Joe's absolutely blistering past here in Brazil. He's on fire right now. And if Joe pits, he comes out in P3. If Aircon pits, he comes out in P4. So still, it's the kind of things that you have to weigh when you're in Red Bull and you're a strategist. Because, I mean, obviously if Aircon pits, he comes on P4. If Joe pits, he comes on P3. So what does Joe do? And he'll stay out for another lap. As Eric Little thinks as well. coming back, having a comeback, it seems. But so does Fondreroli need to achieve. Yeah, so there's Joe. It doesn't really have that much lapped traffic to go here. Yeah, you can just see on the minimap as well. In the corners, the Mercedes is very equally matched with these sort of lap traffic, but on the straights, the Mercedes is absolutely slow. It's so slow on the straights. They need to fix their straight line speed. Yeah, and as Joe actually continues on the hard tire, every lap that passes, he's better off than Aircon, because Aircon still has to deal with a lot of lapped traffic. Give me a second. Okay, we back. Yeah, I was just saying that. Oh, that was a risky move around the outside of Tipcom there. Still stays out. And now is when the tire really begins to start graining. Aircon still out on track. 4 seconds. So as the race now begins to come to a close and the last pit stop is imminent, what will the teams go for? I mean, if Red Bull are smart, obviously they want to go for the soft. Even if any team is smart, they'll go for the medium tire or the soft tire. But yeah, how long can the soft last? I think the soft can last like 8 laps or something, 5 laps even. So I don't know. It really just depends when they pit. Oh, there's a penalty for Joe for a collision with Rafa Caetano. Does that affect Joe? No, that doesn't affect Joe. So Joe was a very near miss for him. And you'll stay out another lap. Yeah, okay. And Aircon pits. Aircon has jumped the gun. We'll go for another set of hard tires for some reason. Okay. Come out in P4. Told you, if he pits, he comes out in P4. So, and if he pits now, if those are ahead, I don't think Tanabado is going to pit though. Yeah. Sorry, there's something stuck between my teeth, so. Right. What will Joe do? Dirksen as well pits. I think if Joe I think Joe, yeah, Joe's coming into the pits. You can just see the way his car's angled. He's coming in. What will Red Bull do? They've just handed I think they've just handed Tanabado the win right now. Joe will go for the medium tire. Aircon, fastest in Sector 2. Now coming on to Sector 3. So Darth comes into the pits. Tanabado into the lead of the Grand Prix, just as Joe comes out of the pits and ahead of Aircon. Crucially, ahead of Aircon. And now the hunt comes. Now comes the hunt. Sadaf as well pits, but no one cares about Sadaf. Oh, Aircon actually got past Joe. Aircon actually got past. I mean, it makes sense. It does make sense that Aircon would get past Joe. But, I mean, useful to mention. So now, Aircon needs to absolutely run away from this Red Bull. He needs, if any moment now would be useful for pace, it would be now. If any moment he needs to extract the most out the car, I mean, it's hard tires. If any moment he'd really want to extract pace out of the hard tires, it would be now. This is for crucial world champion points. Crucial World Championship points. And are they fading away? It seems as though they're beginning to fade away. Joe will likely make a move into turn one. Dirkson's got a penalty for a collision with Palanda Bono. Yeah, Joe just stays behind for now, but he will have DRS. You can just watch as his rear wing opens, and he will swoop around the outside onto the grass and will go up into P2. Eric Little Things as well will pit. What can Aircon do about this? It seems as though Aircon will not be able to do about this because of the tire offset. So I think Mercedes should have just waited one more lap to pit. So now it's Aircon on the charge here. So now it's Aircon on the charge. What will he do? They've already reached, Joe has already reached Tanner Bardot here. Will it be a clean move? I mean, Brazil does promote overtaking quite a bit. He will have to go around the outside, but he's been slowed down by Tanner Bardot. He can't really maximize himself out from that corner. And that's into the lead of the race. Lap 31 of 35. I think Aircon as well have no difficulty past Tanner Bardot because this wasn't their fight to begin with, and that is the Red Bull in front of him. We're just following in the back. Yeah, so Tanner Bardot actually brought himself into the discussions for the race. Juan Roli pits for new tires. So does Taffel Jupiter. Sadaf is the fastest man in Sector 1 of the Grand Prix. There's Joe. There's Aircon. Now obviously the medium tire is faster than the hard tire, but can it go long? You can just see that corner there, throw a Mergulo into cell, blitzing past here. I think is that Tap? No, that's Franco Colino, thinking who does he think he is? But he's just given Aircon a DRS here. So the lap traffic now becoming a problem. Yeah, now it's become a problem here. Will Aircon go for the lead of the race? Sadaf sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as Tanner Bardot just moves back, takes a bit of a seating position to watch this all unfold. That's Aircon right there. Aircon's gaining, but he's not doing anything. And because he's not doing anything, he just can't win. He just can't. I mean, he might, but just can't. He would. He might. Can't. I'm saying everything so I don't jinx. So people don't say I'm jinxing it. Yeah. No, but the gap is increasing. The gap is reducing now, but it's increasing. Per lap, the gap is increasing. You can just see now it's already 1 second there. Does Aircon have DRS? Aircon does have DRS. Okay, he does have DRS. But is it enough? Is it enough? That's the question Mercedes keep asking themselves. Okay, we're pushing, but is it enough? Joe won't have DRS for the next 2 or so laps. And in 2 laps, that's when the Grand Prix ends. So yeah, Aircon just kept this respectful distance. He's not pushing or anything. It doesn't seem as though he's pushing. It doesn't seem as though he wants to push. He doesn't have the drive. He doesn't have, all that is required for a Grand Prix winner, Out of the infield now, he's 8 tenths behind. Last lap, he was 6 tenths behind. It's just outside of the DRS range. And he will not have DRS onto the next lap. And that's just a fact. He won't have DRS for the next lap. Look, rear wing firmly shut. And that's it. And that's it. Okay, guys, pause. Okay? Y'all are not gonna like what I'm about to say. Y'all not gonna like what about okay. Should I let Joe win or not? As the FIA, should I let Joe win or not? You know what? It's the championship. It's fine. Yeah. So from all that has happened here in Jose Carlos Pase, from all the conflict that's gone on here, he set the pace at the beginning. Set the pace at the beginning. He's been fast all weekend. Really, he has, and it's been enough today. It really has been enough. So you'll just come out of the infield, and he will look up and win in Brazil. You will see the checkered flag first on track, and unlike in Mexico, he will take the win. Oh, this is lap 34, 35. Oh, I thought this was the last lap. My bad, I'm so dumb. My bad, my bad, my bad. Another lap. This is the last lap, okay? This is the last lap now. Yeah, right? It's not looking good for Mercedes right now. That's what I can tell you. I think Red Bull now just take back the lead in the constructors. I think. I don't think. I'm not sure. I really am not sure what happens. But yeah. Okay. And Aircon looked really dangerous in the middle part of the lap. I think Sadaf actually might get into P1, into P3, or rather, because he pitted. Tana Badol hasn't pitted, and Sadaf, unlike his teammate, looks very, very dangerous and will be looking to threaten here in Brazil. But further up the road, he won on track, but he didn't take the win at the end. But now he will look up on track, see the checkered flag first, and win in Brazil. Joe wins the Brazilian Grand Prix, Aircon in P2. He extends his championship lead to 9 points going into the Bahrain Grand Prix tomorrow. And it's already been decided here. Sadaf will stand on the podium in Brazil. Eric Littlethings will take P5. And it seems as though the Red Bull had wings and the ball flew all the way to the checkered flag today. Joe wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. With Eric P5, Mercedes comfortably take back the lead in the constructors. And you can just really see how fast they've been. The Mercedes engine hasn't really proven itself today, but in a track like Bahrain with a whopping 3 DRS zones, it seems as though Red Bull is only inevitable. All right, the anthem's gonna come on.
In 2 out of 3 races.
Mercedes. What is going on? What is genuinely going on? I feel like I'm Total Wolf just watching Mercedes in like 2023 or something. What is going on? Red Bull absolutely dominating right now. What is going on here? Um, there's still three races left there, the two ones in Bahrain and the one in Abu Dhabi. This, as I feel, was Aircon's one and only chance to get, you know, effective pace and to retake the lead of the championship because Bahrain, three DRS zones, Abu Dhabi, I think two or three DRS zones as well, and the Mercedes is not fast in a straight. So they really will be vulnerable here, and I think just barely they've managed to hang on to the WCC lead, but I don't think they've held on to the WDC lead or Drivers' Championship lead. It's not really worked out, it seems. So yeah, it's 9 points. It's nine or 10 points ahead. I mean, the win is 7 points ahead, plus the two he was already ahead of. So yeah, that's 9 points ahead in the championship. So Mercedes have a lot to work on for the Bahrain Grand Prix, either later on today or tomorrow. Yeah, so which means at any rate, it's the season finale is either on Wednesday, right? It's either on Wednesday or Thursday. I'll decide if I want to sim Bahrain again today. But yeah, I'm really disappointed in Mercedes. But you know.